The life story of Thomas Alva Edison, never afraid to fail. Hello, my friend. Today, I want to share a story about a man who changed the world, not by being the smartest person, but by being brave, curious, and persistent. His name is Thomas Alva Edison. Many of you know him as the inventor of the electric light bulb. But Edison's story is much more than that. It is about failures, struggles, courage, and never giving up. By the end, you will understand why never being afraid to fail is one of the greatest secrets to success. Chapter 1. The Curious Boy. Thomas Edison was born on February 11th, 1847, in Milan, Ohio. He was the youngest of 7 children. His father, Samuel Edison, worked many jobs, including being a carpenter and a shingle maker. His mother, Nancy Edison, was a school teacher with great patience and a love for learning. From an early age, Thomas showed endless curiosity. He would ask questions about everything he saw: why the wind blew, how lightning worked, or why certain plants grew better than others. Sometimes, his questions were so strange that adults didn't know what to say. But there was a challenge. Thomas struggled in school. Teachers thought he was slow and could not learn well. One teacher even called him addled, which means confused. That could have broken a child's spirit, but Thomas was lucky. His mother, Nancy, believed in him completely. She took him out of school and taught him at home. She gave him books, encouraged him to explore, and allowed him to do experiments freely. She once said to him, "You are not slow, Thomas. You are different, and that is a great gift." And so, Edison began learning on his own. He read books about history, science, and famous inventors. He learned about chemistry and physics, not because he had to, but because he was curious and passionate. Chapter 2. Experiments in the Basement. By age 10, Edison had already built a small chemistry lab in his family's basement. He conducted experiments with chemicals, made small explosions, and often created strange smells. His parents worried, but they never stopped him. At the same time, Edison had an entrepreneurial spirit. When he was 12, he started selling newspapers and snacks on trains running between Port Huron and Detroit. But he didn't stop there. He created a small printing press in the train car and printed his own newspaper called the Grand Trunk Herald. He also set up a tiny lab in the baggage car to continue experiments while traveling. One day, one experiment caused a small fire, and the train conductor kicked him off. Edison could have been discouraged, but he was undaunted. He simply continued experimenting elsewhere. Chapter 3. Challenges and Hearing Loss. During his teenage years, Edison began to lose his hearing. Some reports say it was due to scarlet fever. Others say from an accident. By the time he became an adult, he was almost completely deaf. Most people would see this as a weakness, but Edison did not. He said it allowed him to concentrate better, free from distractions. He could focus for hours on end, thinking deeply about problems and solutions. Chapter 4. Telegraph Lessons. In his teenage years, Edison learned to be a telegraph operator. This job required him to send messages quickly and accurately across distances. He traveled to many cities, working long hours and learning the inner workings of telegraph machines. While working, he often experimented with improvements to the telegraph. One small idea he had was to improve the speed of telegraph messages, and even his early tests gave him confidence that inventions could solve real problems. This period taught him discipline, observation, and problem solving. Chapter 5. First Inventions and Early Struggles. By the early 1870s, Edison began focusing on serious inventions. His first success was an improved stock ticker, which sent stock prices faster and more accurately to offices. This invention earned him enough money to open his first real laboratory in Newark, New Jersey. However, not all his inventions were successful. Many failed, and many earned little money. But Edison saw these as lessons, not failures. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Chapter 6. Menlo Park, the Invention Factory. In 1876, Edison moved to Menlo Park, New Jersey, and created what became known as the world's first invention factory. He hired skilled assistants and began working day and night, creating devices and improving existing technologies. Here, Edison developed the phonograph, a machine that could record and play sound. People were amazed. They had never heard anything like it. Edison himself called it the most beautiful thing he had ever made. Chapter 7. The Electric Light Bulb. Edison is most famous for the electric light bulb, but it was not an easy invention. He tested thousands of materials for the filament. He failed again and again. People laughed at him, saying he should give up, but Edison refused. He finally found a carbonized bamboo filament that worked, and the bulb glowed for hours. After the bulb, Edison created the entire electrical system to bring light into homes and streets. In 1882, he opened the first commercial power station in New York City. Imagine life before the bulb. Dark streets, candles in homes, fire hazards from oil lamps. Edison changed all of that forever. Chapter 8. More inventions. Edison didn't stop at light. He created the phonograph, improved the telephone, and worked on early motion picture cameras. He continued inventing into his 80s. By the end of his life, he had over 1,000 patents. Edison was known not just for inventions, but for relentless effort. He worked long hours and believed in hard work over talent. Chapter 9. Challenges and rivalries. Edison faced rivals like Nikola Tesla and George Westinghouse, especially in the war of currents over electricity systems. Edison's DC system lost to AC, but he did not give up. Instead, he moved on to other projects, proving that losing one battle does not mean losing the war. He also faced personal and financial challenges, but stayed focused on his work. Chapter 10. The Final Years. Even in old age, Edison kept experimenting. He worked on storage batteries, rubber, and new cement processes. His curiosity never stopped. Edison passed away on October 18, 1931, at the age of 84. On that night, people across America dimmed their lights for a moment to honor the man who brought light to the world. My friend, Thomas Edison's life teaches us something truly powerful. He was told he was too slow to learn. He lost much of his hearing. He failed thousands of times, and yet he never gave up. The lesson is simple but important. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of it. Every mistake brings knowledge. Every challenge builds strength. Every no can guide you to a yes. So, when you face difficulties, remember Edison. Believe in yourself, keep working hard, and do not be afraid to fail. Because every step you take, even the wrong ones, brings you closer to your dreams. Light, my friend, comes not just from bulbs, but from the courage to keep going, from the heart that refuses to quit. Carry this story with you. Let it inspire you to never fear failure, always keep learning, and always keep moving forward. The world is waiting for your light. shine bright.